Did you know that Silent Hill is based on a real place called Centralia in Pennsylvania in the USA? In 1962, a coal mine fire started and has never stopped burning. Its population has gone from 1,000 to just 5. You're listening to the Xbox Hub Podcast, the official podcast of TheXboxHub.com. For the latest Xbox news, reviews, videos, and opinions, make sure you visit TheXboxHub.com. But for now, settle down, get comfy, and open your ears for some podcast delights. Hello, welcome to the Xbox Hub Official Podcast, episode 101. Wow. My name's Gareth. I'm going to be your host, and on my virtual left is Mr. James Burks. How you doing, James?
Not too bad, thank you. How are you?
I'm not great. I admit to you now, I'm not great. I've had an email hack. I'm in all sorts of trouble with the emails. It's put me in a bad mood, James.
I mean, are you sure you're just not getting any emails? Maybe you're just not very popular.
Maybe that's true. Yeah. And on my virtual right is Mr. William Cariana. How you doing, William?
I'm doing fine.
Oh, yeah. Has your email been hacked?
My email has not been hacked, thankfully.
Just me.
My Facebook was at risk of getting hacked about a week ago, but not my email. Sorry, my Meta book.
Oh yeah, Meta. Yeah, that's we haven't got that on our list to talk about. But I watched the sort of like the trailer for Meta.
I haven't watched it, but it sounds ridiculous.
It's mad. It's mad. Okay, right, you two. What have we been up to this week before we launch into anything? William, what have you been doing?
I've had a week off this week, which has been quite nice. You know, I've been relaxing a bit. I got to see the new Wes Anderson film, The French Dispatch. I thought that was good. And yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get some work done as well to get the next few weeks freed up, because there is a certain something coming out on November 5th if you have the gold edition, and November 9th if you don't, that I want to have some time to play. So
right.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
Good.
It's Just Dance.
It's Just Dance, isn't it? William's a big Just Dance fan.
I'm telling you, it is the biggest racing game of the year. Fast and Furious Spy Racers 3D or whatever the heck, because that is actually coming out the same day.
Good.
What a game.
What a game. James, what have you been doing?
Well, it's not been quite as bad as your week, Gareth. But it started off badly with the football. I had a Super Sunday watching my football team, Manchester United, get beat 5-0. And that ruined my week, basically. So I spent the rest of the week watching Christmas films to cheer myself up.
God, you haven't started already, have you? Oh my God.
I started too.
They're always on, aren't they? They're always at this time of year. You can always find something. They're not great, but you can sit there and watch them, have a nice hot chocolate, and just chill out. And that's all we need.
Right.
All we need.
It's close enough, you know. I mean, the government here is trying to get us to buy early and start early for quote unquote morale and for
exactly
safety's sake. So it's like, fine, whatever. I'll watch them. I'm watching too.
Yeah.
I should always say, because people have tuned in for the first time, William is in Toronto, in Canada. So always good to remind people that we're talking over the Atlantic. It is the Atlantic, haven't I? I was just doubting myself when I said it then. Nothing from you two.
I don't know. It's definitely an ocean.
I have been this week, the whole week and a bit, I've been dog sitting. A friend of mine has gone on holiday. There are 2 dogs, and my dog and my partner who went to stayed by the sea, and which has been very nice. But they're quite wealthy, but they've got a huge TV. Like mine's what I don't know what it is, 42 inches. Theirs is massive. So I've got used to this huge TV. It's been quite a shock coming back. I can't get that huge TV. I can't afford it. But yeah, that's been a shock for me. That's been my week, really. watching TV, a large TV. You impressed, you two?
You should have asked for the TV as payment.
Yeah, I should have done.
Your services.
That's right.
As the Dogman.
Dogman. Is that my new name? Dogman.
That's the next episode of your YouTube series.
Yes.
Dogman.
Dogman. That's how I'm going to sign in now. This is the Xbox Hub. I'm Dogman. Yeah.
Sounds really cool.
Yeah, it sounds really good with the kids. Right, let's get down to business. Nothing of this mucking around and chatting. Halo Infinite campaign footage got released this week. I think it was maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, wasn't it?
Monday.
Monday.
Without much announcement, just 10 hours before, they were just like, okay, tune in at 9 in the morning tomorrow. We're going to show it.
Yeah. And so we had a sort of 6.5 minute kind of like trailer for the campaign, showing you with a voiceover, a bit of kind of cutscenes, a lot of open world footage. What did we learn? What did we like? William, let's go to you first of all. What did you like from this first of all?
I've had my concerns about the campaign. Last year's showing, not that visually impressive, even though the gameplay looked good. You know, they delayed co-op out of launch. They've delayed this game 13 months now, so it's not even going to be eligible for this year's Game Awards. And the saddest thing is, watching this, I think it could have swept it because it looks so good. A massive visual improvement. The sandbox, the weapons here, the story. There's the moment where Chief jumps into a Covenant ship, then proceeds to jump out of it, grapple onto another ship, throw out the pilot, jump out of that one, and then grapple into the first. Like, it's so ridiculous, over the top, and it's Halo. Like, this is Mission 2. This is Mission 2 of Combat Evolved Halo, or Silent Cartographer on an open world scale, and it looks amazing. So, yeah, I cannot wait to sink my teeth into this. I have 7 assignments due that week, which means that I'm going to miss the first day. But trust me, once those are all done, I'm booting it up, and I'm probably not going to be leaving it until I'm done.
Oh, good. That's a good positive thing. James, what about you? You've played Halo. You've played all of them.
I've completed all of them. I've played all of them. I don't remember any of them. I'm just there for the experience there, and then that's it. But yeah, it reminded me a little bit of like a Just Cause version of Halo. It was quite chaotic, and there's a lot of fluid combat, which I quite liked. And I think, like William said, jumping in and out of the ships and then grappling from here to there. I like that. I think it could be a lot more fun. And obviously, it's open world. You can kind of do it in any order, by the sound of it. A bit like what we found in Wildlands, Ghost Recon. I think you just go anywhere whenever you want and just cause hell.
But I think it's still guiding you probably a little bit, isn't it?
Probably. Nowhere near as big as it.
It's like God of War 2018. So it's sort of open-ended. There is one certain direction they want you to go from point A to point B, but you can branch off of those to do different things, and you can go back at any time and visit older ones. That's my understanding. But yeah.
Now it kind of reminded me a little bit of playing a lot of Far Cry recently. But, you know, when you saw the little camps and you were like, how do I attack this camp? What's the best way to go in? And I had that similar thing. Can I ask you both questions, see if you can remember these? I've got some questions, right? And I can't remember. I'm like, James, I've played them all. I can't remember any of them. My first question is, when we saw some kind of like boss battles, didn't we? Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
And in the other Halos, did you have a sort of like a strength bar above saying how much, like a normal boss battle when you see the bar depleted, like a Dark Souls bar?
Not exactly that I recall, but it wouldn't surprise me if there was. I know boss battles are definitely not new,
right?
But I don't recall seeing a health bar over them. I might be wrong.
Okay, good. My second question is, in the games before, it felt like you could instantly call up vehicles. Is that right? It felt like you could just summon a...
In this one, yeah.
Yeah, in this one, a warthog or a...
You can get a wasp or a...
Yeah. That's new, isn't it? Because before you could just nick them or, find them lying around.
Yeah, it seems a bit like Borderlands. In Borderlands you can do that, can't you?
Right, okay. And that's
new. Not just be lying around. That said, I think in big team battle modes you could summon them. Okay. Or at least in the Warzone mode for sure in Halo 5 Guardians you could summon vehicles. But I think this is the first time they've done this on that scale in the campaign. Mm. From what I recollect, this isn't their first open world campaign. That was ODST. So I might be misremembering. You might be able to do that in there, but I don't recall.
Yeah. And my third question is, why is he floating in space? I can't remember anything. Is he at the beginning? What happens at the end of 5 or 4? He's not in 5, is he?
He is in 5.
He is in 5, but you don't play as him, do you? Or did you play as a...
You play as him, but for like 30% of the game, and for 70% you're walking his buddies, which nobody really liked too much.
Chatting a lot, chatting dialogues in the camps. Yeah. And at the end of it, was he in trouble and sort of in space floating around, or was that completely new?
No. From what I recall, he realized that Cortana... Spoiler alert for...
gotcha.
A 6-7-year-old game now. He realized that Cortana was evil and was misguided, and so ultimately he sabotages her, escapes with his team in lock. They put their issues behind them, and then I believe he leaves with Halsey and Sarah Palmer and a couple of the others. Maybe the Arbiter was there. I'm trying to recall. But the point is, I specifically do not remember him floating in space. So I think So either we're going to get an answer to that. I remember that Cortana had turned most of the AIs against the humans, with the exception of a few that stood opposed to her, like the ship's AI, the ship that Master Chief and Locke and all them were on. But no, Halo 5, not the world's most memorable story.
No. I think we need a little previously on Halo before we begin the game. Like, just before you load it up. Like, just a whole summary of the last 5 games.
Honestly, I think this one's mostly just going to stand alone. People didn't like the story to 5, and they're just like, that didn't happen. He's floating in space now. Why? Who cares? He's you didn't like what we did with Cortana? He's Cortana's sister. You like her, right?
yeah. But they're searching for Cortana, aren't they? It's like he said, we're searching for her, isn't it? That seems to be the quest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. That's my questions. It does look. I'm excited about it. It does look. It made me much more excited, and also the multiplayers had some extremely favourable responses as well, which is going to be fun. So
I think in co-op, I think it'll be fun. And eventually get the co-op sorted. I'll play it.
You love co-op, though, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
I think it's just probably a little difficult to do co-op in this big open world, and they're probably still trying to crack how to do that. Do they anchor players to one another? Do they let them go off and do their own things with the risks that are involved in there? How do they handle progression? It's not as easy as it was for the very linear campaigns. So, but hopefully they get that sorted sooner.
Yeah. Good, it's good. It's coming in December, isn't it? Early December, 9th or 8th or something? Or
December 8th.
Yeah.
Game Awards the day after, so maybe we'll get a Halo announcement there, or they'll play the music like they did for Cyberpunk and Smash, which both came out around the same time as Game Awards. So hopefully we'll get something there.
Good, exciting. Now, this week, we had a State of Play by PlayStation, which happened on Wednesday night here in the UK. And it's always quite exciting to find out what's going to happen in State of Play with PlayStation. That's what they seem to be doing now, and some of them are looking quite good. I think it's fair to say this wasn't very good. Is that fair to say? James, can I come to you? What do you think?
Oh, I actually watched it twice.
Oh my god.
Not because it was any good, because I forgot everything that happened. Because it was so boring the first time. Yeah, it wasn't great. It really wasn't. But
we'll go through.
You gotta go in. Yeah, you got to go in with no expectations. I think with a lot of these frequent showcases. It's very strange though. They could just released a few trailers randomly here and there on Twitter for these.
Because they've got some big games coming up. So,
but not these.
Not these. So I was expecting maybe something about Forspoken.
Yeah.
Maybe not about Horizon because we've seen a bit.
I want it.
Yeah. But yeah, I was a bit. William, what do you think? Do you think disappointing or okay?
Let's put it this way. Jeff Keighley put out a poll and 58% of respondents said it was a D and 30% said it was a C. And on Reset Era, which is very, very, I'm not going to say Sony biased, but Sony dominant, they gave an F. So when even doesn't seem to be even winning over the fans here, people would call it the worst day of play. I think all of this is harsh. It was the content I didn't think supported the format. I wasn't a fan of almost anything shown off of that, or at least not yet. But I don't think it was that awful. I just think they needed to set expectations for this one.
Yeah. They
shouldn't have announced it a week out. Xbox has had a great week. Age of Empires 4 reviewing super well. Halo, of course. They should have said immediately, this is mostly an indie showcase with 1 or 2 surprise reveals from our third-party partners. And that may have gone over a lot better.
Absolutely. Let's quickly go through some of the... Well, we'll cover the games because there's only 9 of them. And we'll just cover it briefly. The first reveal, their big opener, was Deathverse, which is coming in spring next year. I can't even remember what this is about. This is like is it a battle royale? Have I got that in my head wrong?
It's very survival based.
Right. James, describe what was going on there. Can you remember it? You said it twice.
I think it was a bit like all the people playing it are part of a game show where you have to try and survive. And to survive, you've got to use, I think it's a lot of close combat, and you've got to kill everyone else that's in the world of Deathverse to win.
It sounds like a battle royale to me.
It came across very much like a battle royale.
Yeah.
And I think it's free to play.
Okay.
I think.
Right. William, you got anything to say about that before I move on?
I think I was at a Discord server and they put best. They said, this is Ninja Theory's Bleeding Edge from a few years back, but without any of the art style and charm of that game. Just really, really bland, very generic.
Yeah, it wasn't great. One thing I did like, the next one, was OKF. I didn't mind that look at this. This is a game... OFK. I've written down OKF. See, that's not worked well, is it?
That's a different game.
Yeah. This is a sort of like little narrative adventure. I think you're a band. It's coming in chapters, like in episodes. And I think after each episode, you sort of like, you chat with the band and you have all these things. And then a song gets released. Is that right?
Yeah, you get like something off your album or extended play or something.
Yeah. And maybe are you designing? I don't know what you're doing. We don't know. We don't know much. But yeah, I thought this looked quite good.
Music videos in every episode, and then that premieres the song that they created, and then that'll get released afterwards, I think.
I like the look of this. This is quite nice. It's original. That felt quite good.
I don't know if I liked it. I didn't like it because they tried a weird way of introducing it and showcasing it. I didn't really know what was part of the game, what was just part of the this is what we're going to do, or...
Yeah.
No, it's a bit weird.
It was meta,
wasn't it? Behind the scenes.
Yeah, it was very meta chatting about the game.
Very meta. Yeah.
But
interesting though.
Yeah, it looks good. That's the best. That was good. William, do you like the look of this?
Looks fine. I mean, let's put it this way. It's not. I like these sort of games, but it's not something I'm rushing out to buy. That said, if you put this in PS Plus or in Game Pass, I would probably at least give it an episode and see if it grips me from there. So, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm
whelmed. Really
Good.
whelmed.
I'm going to mention this quite quickly. Bug Snacks has got some DLC.
Is that still a thing?
Do you know what? This DLC, it looked worse than the game. I've played the game. It looked worse. How can it look worse than the actual what's out there? It looked like it was
bigger and badder.
It looked like it was on a 360.
It didn't look great at all.
No.
Pre-release, I guess. I don't know. A plus pun, but I wasn't that big on the first game, so I don't think I'm good.
Yeah.
It's free though.
It's free, yeah.
I think it's free, yeah.
Yeah. The next one was the Five Nights at Freddy game. I've got no interest. I don't know what that is. Still don't know what it is. You're a guard stuck in a sort of TV show, and you got to survive the night. Is that right?
Yeah, it's sort of Chuck E. Cheese. Do you have Chuck E. Cheese over in?
No, we don't.
No. Okay, that's basic. It's big in North America. It's an arcade where they have these singing animatronic rats and
okay.
And they're creepy, and they aren't supposed to be, and so that's sort of the joke as you're staying at one of these places. I haven't played the games. I know of them. Kids seem to like it, so
that makes more sense. Yeah, it's very popular. Yeah, I've got no interest, but it's very popular for people. Kart Rider.
This one was interesting because it was supposed to be an Xbox exclusive, and the betas were on Xbox like 2018, 2019.
Right.
And now I guess it's coming to PlayStation, and they haven't said if PlayStation is getting it too, or if it's exclusive there now. And because Sony never does a good job of indicating what's exclusive and what isn't in these shows. But like in Mario Kart in Unreal Engine, basically, it's Korean. It looks fun.
Yeah. I've never played a kart racer really. I don't think I've even played Mario Kart.
Really?
No, I don't think I have. James, you like a game like this, do you?
I think because I've played Mario Kart quite a lot, I think I would hate this as a budget version. I've played quite a few of. Is it Sonic and All-Star Racing? That was quite decent, but this doesn't seem to have anything that sets it apart from the best ones that are out there. I literally have no interest in it.
No, there you go. Thank you.
But if you haven't played one, and it's your first, then maybe it'll be enjoyable.
There you go. You can't get a recommendation better than that.
You can try if you want.
At this point, I was watching this on YouTube, the thing, and if you had the chat bar, and because I was making notes, I kept having it in small, and the chat bar's bad. And at this point, it shows I was a little bit bored. And because all the chat bar there's people just going GTA 6 like that, and all I kept putting in there was trousers, casual shoes. I just kept listing like items around the house.
Well, but no one noticed.
Yeah, because all it is GTA 6, GTA 6. Right, next is King of the Fighters.
The King of Fighters 15.
Oh, yeah, go on. Come, James, you're an expert on this. Tell me about it. I don't even know what this is.
It's a fighting game.
Right.
And it showed up, I think, one of the new characters. I think there's only 8 characters in the game. It showed up a medium called Dolores, I think it was, and the moves that she can do. I mean, I don't play much King of Fighters these days, but it looks okay.
And this is the franchise that's been out for a while. So I recognise it before. It's been a long time. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's just another fighter.
No, there you go.
Do anything special.
February 17th, coming out.
Look forward to it, people.
William, you a fighter? You're a fighter or a lover?
Fighting. I enjoy the genre, but it's got an open beta. That's good. I think the biggest problem with this one is it's out in February, and you push it back or forward. I don't care. Elden Ring, Horizon, Dying Light, Saints Row.
Yeah.
Like something's gonna get lost in the shuffle here. So I think it's better to put maybe in April. I don't know, but it looks solid. Yeah, it
does. If you like those games, I'm rattling through now. Now the next game is coming to the PlayStation for free if you're on First Class Trouble on November the 2nd, and we had a nice little kind of instructions from the developers who were talking about this game, and it's set on a space station, isn't that right? And you could choose to be a person or a robot, and it's like what's the game that everyone loves? Among Us.
Among Us. Yeah.
It's that kind of vibe, isn't it? But like a 3D version of it. Is that fair to say?
A more complicated version. I'd say. Interesting though. I mean, the fact that it's going to be on PlayStation Plus means that you're going to have that player base at the start to make sure you've got people playing it, because you need a lot of people to make those games work. And communication is vital. So as long as people get the idea and get into it, I think it'll do alright.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked very silly at times, but it's part of the charm.
I liked it. I did. I found it. Yeah, I think charm's a good word. I found it quite charming. I thought this is okay. This is good. Sometimes I don't like the way developers do their scripted chat over stuff, but it was okay. It was quite nice. So I quite enjoyed it. William, do you fancy this? It's good. It's coming out second.
Yeah, well, looks all right. Again, it's free, so I can't really complain there.
No,
to be honest, I thought it was Dead by Daylight at first. I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering the game. This was the one with the person dressed in the nurse's outfit, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I thought, like, okay, this Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest has been added to Dead by Daylight. Okay, but I didn't realize until after it's sort of closer to Among Us or Project Winter, those games. So interesting. It looks quality. So
yeah, it does. Yeah,
I'm there. Yeah.
And we've got just two more: Star Ocean: The Divine Force. And this is a bit of DLC for the main game, is it, or is this something new, or is it?
It's a new one.
Okay. Yeah, William, you know about this because you said it was a new one. What is it?
It's a new entry in the Star Ocean series, which I believe is Tri-Ace. And if not, it's Tri-Crescendo. It's one of the Tri developers.
Yeah, I think it's Tri-Ace.
And Square Enix, I think this is the 6th one in the series. I haven't really played the series much. I've heard that the latest one, 5, was not very good. That said, it's nice to see Square Enix actually releasing games on Xbox again. JRPGs, they've learned that they can do that on the first day. So that's cool. I mean, that said, from what I saw here, it looked like Xenoblade through better and through worse. Like, it to be honest, it looked like it was running on the Switch. There were a ton of frame rate problems in that trailer. It looked sometimes like it was in the single digits. It was really bad. But if the writing and the characters and the design and all that stuff is there, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, it looks like it could use a couple months of polish for sure.
Have you played these before, James? The Star Ocean?
I haven't, no. I mean, it's a long-running series, I know that, but I've never really got into it.
No.
And I mean, watching that footage, it did look really poor. visually.
Yeah.
I mean, the gameplay was just a lot of fun. But, no, it needs something better than that when it comes next year.
Yeah. 2022. Maybe longer. And the last game on the list was a game that we've seen some clips about before I got excited about it, is the Devil Inside. And we got a kind of like a more in-depth look at how the game works, the different perspectives of... it's almost like a little top... When you're exploring, it's like a little top-down, isn't it? It feels like little kind of models.
Yeah, it's like the overworld.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
And then when an event happens, it kind of gets more three-dimensional when you're in there. I mean, I really like at the beginning they just had the train appearing on the perspective side of it. I love that, just the visuals of it. Yeah, I mean, it looks really interesting. It was meant to come out this year. Sorry, William.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, it was supposed to come out this year.
Yeah.
They didn't have a date in there, but supposedly it's next year. They said that on a blog post. I don't know.
Oh, okay, right. Okay. So, yeah, next year. So we had no date, which is a bit sad. But, yeah, I think this looks great. I mean, I've always kind of... They had some kind of... a little bit of backlash about certain things that they said they fixed. But, yeah, I think this looks really good. William, you like the look of this?
It looked all right. It didn't quite grip me. Admittedly, what is bugging me with this one was it was crowdfunded back in the day.
Right.
And it was crowdfunded for Xbox One and for Wii U and later Switch. And the developers have come in and said, sorry, it's PlayStation exclusive, no refunds. You'll get the other versions eventually.
Right.
Like that just strikes me as like, Microsoft came in and bought Psychonauts 2, but they did not just come and say, and bought In Exile, but they didn't just cancel Wasteland 3. They didn't just cancel Psychonauts. They took what is legally and morally the upstanding choice here. And so I think it reflects poorly on Sony that they are money-hatting something that was supposed to be for everyone. I think it reflects poorly on the developer that they are allowing this. So I have very mixed opinions here.
Oh, okay. Good.
That just sort of put a bad taste in my mouth.
Right. Good. Okay. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think it'll be interesting. But it's a funny one to finish on as well, isn't it? It's a weird one to finish on. I mean, like I said, they could have had... Maybe they just didn't have any more Forspoken as the one I'm really excited to see.
Final Fantasy 16. People kept saying, no, don't worry, Final Fantasy 16 is going to be here. Don't wait till you see Final Fantasy 16. And some others were like, no, they've got an exclusive BioShock. We're going to show an exclusive BioShock. Needless to say, they did not show either. So,
I mean, you say it's a strange one to finish on, but it was a strange one to open with. At Death Press. It really wasn't well organised or set out, I don't think.
No.
Sure.
No, not one of the best.
No. Not one of the worst.
No,
Somewhere
exactly. Yeah. Right, guys. What have we been playing? Let's start with William first. William, what have you been playing this week?
Admittedly, even though it's a week off, I haven't had as much time to play, but I did start Age of Empires 4. And as someone who has sort of teetered on and off with this series, I think 4 is off to a great start. I think it takes the mechanics of 2 and it streamlines it. I think it's a lot more accessible, easy to pick up. It looks really good. Like, I know people look at the trailers and go, oh, I don't know how that's going to look and everything. Once you play it, see it in action, it really does look good. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm very early in the game though, so.
Okay. Can I ask? Go on, Willie. Go on, James. Sorry, I was going to answer.
When you were doing the promo material for the game, it showed like in-game videos that will pop up from time to time and introduce stuff about history. Have you seen any of them yet? And are they totally cringeworthy? That it seems.
Admittedly, I have not seen that yet. I'm only a couple hours in the game. From what I have seen, you unlock them after completing the campaign missions. And then as well, the narrator from those videos narrates things as they happen in the game. As sort of like it's documentary style. So in the...
Yeah, I wondered how bad they'd be. Or good. So,
yeah.
Hopefully it'll be decent.
Do you think this would ever come to console? Is it possible, do you think?
It really should. It really should. Like, Microsoft sits back and goes, we're all about playing anywhere. We're bringing all your console games to PC. But not those ones. Those PC games, they stay on PC like that. That's always rubbed me the wrong way. They did it with Gears Tactics. They did it with Flight Sim. And they're doing it with Age. Now, granted, those other two games did come to console. Flight Sim is wonderful. And so I think Age of Empires 4, the best point I've seen raised is this series hasn't had a new game in over a decade. And so the very hardcore strategy fans would be afraid, oh no, they're bringing it to consoles, they're going to dumb it down and everything. And now that's gone over well, maybe then they can say, and we're bringing a scaled down version to console. I don't think it works one-to-one without mouse and keyboard, but Halo Wars 2, Halo Wars the original, Paradox with most of their games, they've shown that you can port these games over to console. And as far as I'm concerned, they absolutely should put this in console, and they should especially put it on console because that will get into xCloud. This would be amazing with touch controls.
Good. Well, let's hope. Yes. Maybe come back next time and tell us what you thought of the whole thing when you've done it. When you've done as much as you can. Hours long, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's like 60 hours.
Yeah.
I'll talk next year.
Yeah. Exactly.
Especially with Forza and Halo coming. It's a busy time.
James, what about you? What have you been playing?
I recently finished Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Hinokami Chronicles. It's quite a mouthful. And it's based on the Demon Slayer anime. And I think we saw footage of it at a recent showcase.
Running through corridors.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of that. But no, it's a 3D arena fighter. So it's basically 1v1 or 2v2. And at the heart of the game is the story mode, where you recreate the biggest battles from the anime. So it's basically boss battle after boss battle. But it's done really well, actually. Because visually, the characters are all absolutely on point. And the combat is fast, fluid, and even the bosses, they're all very different in the way they approach their attacks and the way they look. But it's exactly how it is in the anime. So you think, like, there's one boss who, they bang the drum and the whole room spins around. And they've done it in the game. You've got a spinning room, you've got attacks coming at you, and you've got to do quick time events and do your normal fighting. It's crazy. But it's really, really good fun.
And it works, all works, it all feels like it's all...
Yeah, it works fantastically well. I think the only problem is when you finished the story mode, because you go online or locally to have a fight, and there's only about, I think, 11 different characters. So it gets pretty repetitive quite quickly. The story modes, everything that's great about the anime, all packed into it, like a 10-hour campaign. I mean, there's a little bit of downtime between battles, where you're running through streets in quite a linear fashion. Other than that, it's so much fun. I give it a 4 out of 5.
Ooh.
So
good.
Pretty good. I think if you like the anime, it's definitely worth getting. If you don't, then just watch the anime first.
Okay.
You won't understand it.
I won't understand it, right?
No.
No, good.
Definitely not.
I'm going to talk about a game I've been playing or reviewed. I don't know if it's up yet. It's called The Eternal Cylinder. What is that, you ask? Well, I think the biggest thing about this game is unlike anything. It's very original, completely original. And that's quite a nice surprise. I kind of wrote in the first review, I said, it's really hard to be surprised now when you play games. And that's not a bad thing. You kind of like, most control systems are very similar. We know what RT does. We know what X does normally. It's nothing. It doesn't. When we first started gaming on console, you have to kind of learn different control systems all the time. It's all very kind of like formulated now, and that's maybe sometimes you know what your FPS does. You know what your RPG does. It has, even though the game's content is different, you're kind of following the system. This one it's from the people who made Rock of Ages and Clash, and it's a really weird premise. You start off in an egg. You're an alien creature called a trebum, and the moment you're born, you get up. You're in your alien world, and behind you is a giant cylinder that's moving slowly towards you, crushing the whole world around you. And you have to outrun it. And if you get to these little tower places, it stops the cylinder for a short while, so you can explore the world. And you can pick up and try to rescue other trebums. So you have a pack of trebums, like lemons, like the Lemons game. A whole lot of them too that you can name. Don't name them because a lot of them die. That's what I made the mistake of, naming them after loved ones. They're all dead. And then you name them, and then you explore little caves and dungeon areas, and you start to get bits more of the narrative. It's narrated by this actor who's really lovely. It's really well done, and you can hoover things up with your sort of snout, and then you could fire water out as well to do puzzling and platform bits. There's other alien creatures who wanted to kill you in strange kind of worlds. And as you explore one area, you just go out a bit, and then the cylinder will start coming towards you again. So there's this tension of this huge eternal cylinder behind you. And when something's really terrifying, you just want to look at it like a tidal wave or something. That's what you're doing. You keep looking back, which is a mistake because you see this huge, this huge kind of thing on fire running through, crushing the world. Yeah, it's really great. It's really good. There's some survival mechanics in it, like you've got to keep all your creatures fed, and that's a bit of a pain in the ass. But I don't see the point of that. But the rest of it, the exploration, the puzzle elements, it's really great. It's so different and innovative, and it's sort of just slipped out of nowhere. Really, it's come out, and it's like if you were to put a game like this in May or June or something, or April, it would do well. It's going to get lost, I think, in this time. I think I'll give it a 4 out of 5. It's really good, really, really good, really different, and it looks great. There you go. William, over to you. What's your next one?
So technically I don't own this game, but I've been playing it with friends a lot. Jackbox Party Pack 8. I think this one is really a lot of fun. I think the games are great, and I believe they've done an excellent job sort of listening at the criticisms levied at the older ones. Now every game that is played can be enjoyed virtually and over streaming, which is amazing. Just all around, it's incredibly funny. Things can get really dark and twisted with the wrong crowd, so just be careful there. The family-friendly mode exists for a reason if that suits you. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, good. So what have you got in there? What's your favourite one?
I'm trying to think. My favourite one is probably Job, which will have you applying to jobs and building out your resume. But the thing is, you have to do it using sentences written by other people in response to prompts. And, many of them won't give the most serious of answers, of course. And so it's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years is the question. And then you can choose whatever words you want, sort of serial killer cutout magazine writing style. from 3 sentences from other or paragraphs from other players, and some of them can be complete nonsense, like just very dark or very immature, and you have to try and find the words that work. So if someone goes on a tirade about whatever but has the words "I like my" and "job" in there, then you can put "I like my job," and I will stay there.
Right.
So that's the gist of it. It's very fun.
Oh, good. Yeah. James wants a bit of Jackbox Party Pack, don't you, James?
Yeah, I used to enjoy it back in the day.
Back in
Always good for...
back
Yeah,
in
back in the day.
Back in the
When I
80s.
had friends.
Yeah. James, what have you been playing on your own? Our friends.
Well, I haven't played lots of it yet. I'm a couple of hours, or a few hours into the Guardians of the Galaxy game. And so far, I would say it's great. It really captured that camaraderie between the Guardians. And there's a nice bit of variety to it, because you're not always fighting weird creatures, you're not always talking, and you're not always flying the Milano. It's a bit of everything, and it's really well placed at the moment. I think I'm most impressed though with the acting. The voice acting is fantastic, and it is like you are part of the team when you're like making decisions and deciding what to say. And the soundtrack, as expected, brilliant so far. I don't know where it could go wrong, but I don't really jinx it. But so far, pretty damn great.
Is there some exploration as well? Are you exploring kind of different planets and stuff?
You traverse a lot of different areas, and there's sometimes more than one way to get to where you need to go. So it's not completely linear, but it is quite, you're going that way, you go that way or that way to get there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of choice.
It's picked up some great reviews, and
I hope I get one more.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. It looks great. I mean, it looks really good. I'm really excited to get it at some point in God knows when, next year some point, I think.
I pre-ordered it, but I think I'm just too busy. I'm gonna wait and put it on the Christmas list or something. But no, I'll definitely get around to it. And I'm glad to hear it's great.
Yeah. Right, last one of games played. I've just played a game called Silver Chains, and it's a first-person horror game. Haunted, that's sort of like a survival horror. And you play someone whose car crashes in the night, and you go towards a mansion like you do, because it's the thing you see in the distance, and you collapse before you reach the mansion. You wake up in a bed inside, and then it's about you exploring the world. You realise very quickly, deserted mansion, something is in there, something spooky, and it's nothing new. It's a kind of like a good ghost. It's like a good ghost story in a mansion. There's a good story there that kind of involves you who you play, and connections with the people in the house. And it's one of those games that you're just having great fun, just exploring the rooms, picking up kind of items. There's some puzzle stuff going on. So, get this item, work out this puzzle. There's no combat to be had. There is a very scary kind of like creature called the Mother, who will every now and again appear, and you have to find a place to hide, like a closet. You've done that before. And it's quite a linear kind of journey through. But the game is a small indie game. The game looks great. The interiors look really, really good, especially on the Series X. It looks really, some of it, the lighting and everything else. And I enjoyed it, actually. I really enjoyed it. It was, it doesn't do anything new. It's not like I've just said before about the Eternal Cylinder, which does something. It feels like very familiar territory, but it tells a good little yarn for 3 or 4 hours, and it's really good. If you like a horror, you want something, you like that type of game, give Silver Chains a go. Which
How scary is it?
Yeah, you can't play it. Yeah, it'll be
Okay.
terrifying. And especially when the mother comes running after you, it's awful. It's yeah.
Mother is always scary.
Yeah, exactly. It leads us on because it's Halloween tomorrow. And I've asked you two to think of some games. You can just have maybe one each. Let's do one each because we haven't got much time. If you could recommend one game to play on Halloween, what would it be? William, what would yours be?
You two first.
Oh, wow. Okay. James, what would yours be?
This is like me asking you, what's your favourite wrestling game?
Yeah, I know. That's what I like.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
I have played a couple of scariest games.
Yeah.
I think it depends. If you're with friends, I would probably go with Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Because I think now it's evolved and there's tons of characters with DLC and, you've got Hellraiser and the Nemesis even is in it from Resident Evil. I think there's a lot of variety to it and there's nothing scary in being stalked by Freddy Krueger and wind up your friends. I think it's a really good game to play with friends.
It's a really good mixture, isn't it, of which is great horror sometimes, of being scared and laughing instantly afterwards.
Yes.
That's what he does.
And nothing
really well.
when someone makes a noise and gets you all killed.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to go back to that again. I wouldn't mind playing it again. Yeah. Good choice. William, can I go back to you or should I go first?
All I can say for mine, I'll be quick. I haven't played this yet. The plan was to start this today and play it over the weekend, is Costume Quest. It's a pretty short game. It's from Double Fine. It's all about Halloween. Double Fine, of course.
Oh, yes, I remember, yeah.
Being one of Xbox's own studios and makers of best game of the year so far, Psychonauts 2. So, yeah, just give that a look with me, I guess.
Yeah, you two have gone light. You've gone light.
It is a good game, actually.
Yeah, it's a very good game, yeah. I would recommend, I'm thinking about this a lot, and I play a lot of horror games. I review a lot, but I think I might have to say Layers of Fear 1 and 2.
That was going to be my choice, the first one.
Yeah, they're
I
very
played
good.
5 minutes of it and turned it off.
Yeah, I bet you did.
So scary.
Both, and the second one's great as well. The second one's really
Medium
good.
as well.
Medium, yeah, absolutely.
Observer, Blue Witch, good stuff from Bloober.
Yeah, really, all those. They're really good at it. Yeah, and they really do make you jump. Yeah, good. And we haven't got much news, but there's just a couple of things I want to kind of bring to the thing. There's one that came out today. Amy Hennig, who did... have I said the name wrong? Hennig?
I don't
Amy
know.
Hennig. Yeah.
Say that again, Willie?
Amy Hennig.
Oh, that's it,
Yeah.
good. She did Uncharted, didn't she? 1, 2, and 3.
She created it.
She created the whole thing, and something happened with her and the Last of Us people, and then she was taken off the fourth. Well, she left, and then she had, correct me if I'm wrong, she was rumored to be working on a Star Wars project, first of all.
Yeah, Visceral Games, EA, and then they shut that one down.
Yeah, and so it's been a shame that thinking, oh, where's this kind of creative talent gone, Mm-hmm. And it's just been revealed she's working on a big AAA story-driven project with Skydance Media, and it's a Marvel game. And it's in collaboration with Marvel Entertainment, and they haven't got much to say, but that's a good thing. It's a good thing that I'm glad she's doing something again. That felt a bit sad for a while, I think. Yeah?
I think
Sure.
the thing with Marvel is they've just done the Marvel Avengers. And it feels like this could have been what Marvel Avengers should have been. This could be a completely original story. And it being an action adventure again. It's a shame that we've had one already that hasn't quite worked out. But, at least she's got the pedigree to deliver, hopefully.
Yeah, but I mean, in its sense, you have got Guardians, which you're playing at the moment. You've got the Spider-Man games. You've got this Wolverine game that's coming out. So I think in that universe, there's plenty to tackle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing is, will this come to Xbox? Will this maybe be Xbox exclusive? I don't know. I mean, as you mentioned, Amy Hennig and PlayStation didn't necessarily leave on the most glowing of terms from what's been revealed. And then you take into account the fact that Sony has Iron Man VR. They have the Spider-Man games, many of those. They've got a multiplayer game, apparently, and they've got Wolverine. You know, maybe Microsoft sits back and goes, okay, let's give this a shot. That said, the only thing is Skydance, their only games so far have been VR. So I'm curious to see if this is virtual reality or not. Hopefully not. Because VR is expensive and I don't want to buy a headset.
Yeah. But it's good. It's really good she's doing something again. It's a shame that we haven't had it for so long time because Uncharted is
an amazing talent.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I wish we got her Uncharted 4 based on what's come out about it. I think it would have been really good. Not that the one that The Last of Us guys did was bad.
No, not at all. No.
I mean, it's not a bad game. But she had a really cool vision for that. And I wish we got to see it.
Absolutely. We're gonna sort of like leave it there. I think I was going to talk about blockchain, but we can talk about that next time.
Let me put it this way: I have got a business degree. I am working towards a master's degree in business. I still have no idea what the hell blockchain is. People keep explaining it to me. It doesn't make any more sense. Blockchain, NFTs, I don't get it.
Yeah. If someone like to write in and tell us all about blockchain in a very simple way, that'd be great.
Explain it to us like we're 5. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What are we looking forward to next week, chaps? James, what are you looking forward to?
Well, this weekend's going to absolutely ruin my sleep schedule. I've got wrestling at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then a concert tomorrow morning at 7. A Korean pop rock group. That'll be fun.
Wow, I'm impressed. What about you, William?
Next week at, I'm hoping, midnight my time, Forza Horizon 5 goes live because I bought the premium add-ons bundle so I can play it early. I cannot wait. Forza Horizon 4 was my game of the year 2018. Yes, over both God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2. I will not take any further questions. And I just cannot wait to see what Playground has done. Everything they've shown just keeps my jaw on the floor. It's so incredible what these guys do. And I think this will be nothing short of a masterpiece, like the rest of them are.
Yeah.
So
when are we getting it? When else Mortal's getting it? On the 9th?
On the 9th.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm excited about Call of Duty Vanguard because I like a World War II thing, and I like the campaign always. Not about the other stuff, but the campaign's always good. Whether I'm going to get it on the 5th is another thing because I've got so much to play. So we'll see. But yeah. But that should be exciting. But thank you very much, gentlemen. If we want to get hold of you, where can we get James? Where can we get hold of you?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at LTUKO.
Good. And William, can we get hold of you on there?
You can get a hold of me on Twitter at William J. Caruana. You can find me on LinkedIn, and then as well, I am starting a small personal blog. I'll share a little bit of details later. That one's called Xbox Collective, and it's a very different sort of thing from Xbox Hub. And I will, of course, be staying on with Xbox Hub and delivering all the great stuff there. So
great. All exciting. And you can find me at GB Brady on Twitter and Twitch. But for now, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. You've been listening to the official podcast of TheXboxHub.com. You'll be able to find all the notes of this show at www.thexboxhub.com/podcast. You can also check out our social feeds on Instagram and Twitter at The Xbox Hub and search for The Xbox Hub on Facebook.